We're looking at Dangote refinery. Of course, the refinery, the chairman of Dangote Group, this announced last week that, of course, the goal and the ambitions of the refinery is to achieve a market capitalization of over 200 billion US dollars. Say this is part of the company vision 2030, of course, strategy, which is indeed quite impressive. That is not just all. Dangote has also been in the news. Only yesterday, he clashed again with the NMDPRA boss, which he accused of sabotaging the industry. These are some of the things we'll be looking at today, and some other issues with regards to the energy market. And I'm being joined from Lagos by Professor Ken Ife. He's the Chief Economic Strategy at ECOWAS Commission. He's also a London Enterprise Ambassador. He joins me virtually from Lagos. Good morning, Prof.
Well, hi, morning, and thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure. Let's start from, of course, the cut now in price of PMS by Dangote. Initially, it was cut to 6.99 naira per liter, and now it has been raised again. From tomorrow, we'll start paying 7.39 per liter. And Dangote did say within this festive period, they will ensure that the price does not rise above that. What is your take?
No, I mean, this is Christmas bonanza to every Nigerian. I mean, we've never had it so good. And I think when he says that, he means it. If I remember, when there was the 15% tax on ad valorem on imported crude, he stood out and guaranteed that the production volume will be there, 50 million liters a day, 1.5 billion liters for the next 1 month, which is 50 times 30. So he guaranteed that, and said the price will not rise. The price, if anything, the price will fall, and it has fallen. And it has fallen. This is a free fall of 135 to 129 naira drop, about 15.58%. That is phenomenal. You know, I mean, this is the 20th time it's dropped in a year, and we haven't seen the end of it yet. But you now have to put this in context by hearing that the NMDPRA is issuing license for importation of 7.5 billion liters. That's a contradiction. That's a contradiction. But I only have one message, and my message is this. Dangote is leading not only Nigerian, but ECOWAS and Africa economic and industrial renaissance. We are coming back because we have got economic political independence in 1960s, around that. But we never had economic independence. And this is the real first strike attempt to regain that economic independence. Second one is that Nigeria is emerging, whether anybody likes it or not, as a refining hub for Africa. And you can't stop that. Not only that Dangote is going for 1.4 million barrels a day, regardless of what you give him, the pittance we are giving him as crude, but then somebody is putting $50 billion in refining in Osun State, Ogun State. And then you've got Bua investing in Akwa Ibom, in refining, and then also other people in Lagos are investing, and then there are 3 modular refineries. So this industry is not meant for one man. This industry is looking to take control of Africa refining capacity and then move out to conquer the world. I mean, where has it been done before? Go to Texas, you have 32 refineries in Texas, and over 5,000 petrochemical industries exporting to the whole world. So, you know, we're not going to join that bus. And I don't think anybody can stop this.
Indeed, talking about nobody can stop this. What does this really mean for the market? Like you mentioned, NNDPRA is talking about importation on over 1 billion liters of fuel. There are other marketers in the industry. I mean, reducing price at this point, what does it mean for the new marketers who are going into importation?
Well, the fact of the matter is that they have to do their homework, because you are not actually comparing like to like. You are comparing adulterated, predatory pricing and dumping against local refining capacity. We have to stop our import dependence. And that is why we have not developed as a country. We're not even talking about development. We are underdeveloping. That is what we are. As economically, the country is underdeveloping and unraveling economic capacity. So this is going to stop. because we need to hand a future to our children that is sustainable. So that's the way, that's the direction. But Okonjo-Iweala says if you fight corruption, corruption will fight you back. And then if you don't kill corruption, corruption will kill you. So that is the point. So it is a fight to finish. And all Nigerians are in sync with it. And if you wait for next year, in the next 1 month or so, when the company goes into flotation, you're going to see what is going to happen. Because even though he says, I will offer 10%, but he's even more relaxed about it. He says, I want all Nigerians to take a good position in my company, whatever it takes. If it means 40% of his company, he will let it go because he wants them. All these benefits are to hit the 30 million Nigerians. And that is the way to go. We need to develop our economy for our own future and for our own children. We can't hand them over poverty of mitigated proportion. It's not going to happen. We just have to challenge these things and then move forward. That's my message on that score. And then you will now see what the implication would be for this company to aim for 1.4 million barrels a day, for them to aim for $100 billion capitalization turnover, and all to be financed from their cash flow, not even borrowing. Then for them to now hope that going to the market could raise $200 billion. That will bring it among the first 100 biggest companies in the world, and even his own personal fortune, because I reckon he owns about at least over 50-60% of his company, will be around 120 billion. He will be in the first 10, not the first 58. No, he will be in the first 10. But it's not about him. It's not about him because he has committed 25% of his assets, anything he has, to education. And then you've seen what happened, the tsunami of last Thursday, where he voted 1 trillion naira to scholarships. It is tsunami. And then you now have earthquake in the price of fuel going forward. Our fuel is now $0.52 per liter, compared to Ghana $1.3, and then compared to Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal 1.7. I mean, tell me what else? Ghana is now 3 times our price. The other people are 4 times our price. So where is the imported fuel going into? Why don't you go and make 200% profit in Ghana with your imported fuel, or go and make 300 profit in Senegal, if there is actually anything that's been imported? If it is not paperwork that we are doing there. So that's the point.
Prof, the price war between the Chief Executive Officer of Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, talking about Farouk Ahmed now, with regards to the issue of economic sabotage, it does appear that the two, giants now are more like playing dirty. Do you think this thing is something that can be resolved at the round table?
I mean, there are many issues to be resolved. I think the most important thing is, where does Nigerian public interest lie? How does the 230 million Nigerians benefit? Anybody that has anything should come and say how we benefit. Look at when they were launching the scholarship. The Minister for Education, I had so much admiration for him. He came out and said, as a government, we are aligning our policy to what Dangote has put up. We are aligning our strategy to what he has put up, and he gave marching orders to the MDAs, agencies under the education. You have to work, collapse your structure and work with Dangote to deliver this. Come on, what else can you expect? I don't expect that I cried. I didn't cry when my mom died or my father died. I cried that day because I saw the faces of young girls that did pilot projects on artificial intelligence and robotics and drone technology. It was so mind-boggling that we are now creating a skills agenda for industrialization and rapid transformation of our country. So, and then young girls are going to lead the charge. Every country that has equality of opportunity at the front burner always return much, much higher GDP growth rate. Nigeria is taking off. With what I saw on that day, Nigeria has actually taken off. And kudos to the Minister for Agriculture. I would like to see other ministers subsume their personal interests and do something for the country, and not to fight or want to demand bribe and all that stuff. I want to see ministers do the same. Of course, they are not doing the same, but I know that they will. And I want to see other private sector link up to government agenda and then make sure government doesn't fail. That is the lesson that Dangote has given to them. Align your thoughts and your action and your philanthropy to government policy and then push government to deliver. Otherwise, they don't. It won't. They will be overwhelmed by corruption-related issues. So that's the point.
Indeed. Prof, in terms of having government intervention, because when you have a market that is already deregulated, and of course you want a lot of competition so that the prices can actually come down. With the benefit of hindsight, Dangote has done quite a whole lot in keeping the price as it is now. But given your own experience in the in analyzing the oil and gas sector, do you think in an intervention from the government, maybe the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, and of course even the president itself, can put some of these matters to rest?
No, the president knows that he has to do it. He's the minister for petroleum. The president hasn't got a choice. The president has to move this agenda forward by intervening, because look at the risks involved. We have a PIA. They are not delivering the PIA. The PIA says you must prioritize local refining capacity before exporting. They've not done that. This guy is refining 700,000 barrels a day. You are giving him 70,000 barrels. And then you promise that you will increase it to 160 billion. But where are you? You're not anywhere near. But then look at $50 billion coming in August in Ondo State. And then look at Bua is coming. Then you see another man is coming in Lagos with refinery. So where are you running to? All these refining capacity are not meant for Nigeria alone. They are meant to earn money for Nigeria from export. Dangote alone will give us $21 billion to this country every year. So what are we talking about? Does government earn $21 billion a year? That's why remittance is even over that money. So what are we talking about? The president doesn't have an option. The president has to rise. I mean, the man has shown a lot of courage, and I respect him for that. But now, this is the last straw that will break the camel's back. We're going to move forward as a country so that we will get this industrialization we've been dreaming about.
But do you see NMDPRA in a way trying to protect other marketers who are not as big as Dangote?
No, I think what the NMDPRA has done is to abdicate their role as a regulator and allow traders to take over. And that's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate because you are not giving any PRC accurate statistics of the local refining capacity. Let me give you an example. Why Dangote was producing 50 billion and only million liter a day, and only about 20 million is actually being taken in. The other marketers are giving him impossible conditions to take, so he's exporting it. Now, NMDPRA will go and report only that 20 million that is being sold in the country, not reporting his capacity. Do you see what I'm saying? So he's not reporting his full capacity. And I've said to them, please go and visit. Go with your chairman and your board. Go and visit the refinery. President has visited the refinery. Go there and verify the production capacity. Go there and verify the laboratory, which you don't have. Internationally recognized, you don't have. NPC doesn't have. Go and verify his own. This is a matter of evidence. And I've been asking for that. This hostility is not going to help anybody, because you can't fight a battle you can't win. You can't stand in front of a moving train. You know, it's not acceptable, because you are facing the whole country, the whole 230 million Nigeria, 42 million MSMEs. You are standing in front of them, and you can't stand. So this is the point. Let's put all these things behind us and then move forward as a country, because we are not only West Africa is waiting for us. That's why we made him the chairman of West Africa Business Council, and then we're also moving forward into the whole of Africa. Only 2 refineries are working: Nigeria and South Africa. The whole of Africa imported $20 billion refined products in 2024. Why? When this is a market for Nigerian refining cluster, it takes us 32 refineries are producing with 5,000, surrounded by 5,000 petrochemical industry. Why can't we have that in this country when we have far more crude in this country than they have over there? So what's the matter? Just some interest,
Prof,
is overriding public interest. It doesn't stand. You know, whatever you have gotten, go away with it or step aside. Let us move this country forward. You know.
Prof, perhaps maybe there are some international conspiracy against Nigeria. Of course, some of them using some of our people to, achieve their aims. Don't you think so?
No. That what you have done is that you have actually put your finger on it. Almost 5 refineries, foreign refineries, are shutting down because of Dangote. And many more will shut down because of Dangote factor. And then when the others come, when $50 billion refinery extra comes, and then many more will shut down. They are shutting down because they are not competitive. They are producing poor quality fuel, which they cannot sell in their own country, and they have to dump it here. Okay, if you take, for example, in where they go to refine their product, is they blend. You have blending plants where they blend and then come and dump, and they even take delivery of condensates from the militants. This is what they call it, artisanal refiners. So it's all that business is not working. It's not working to the benefit of our country, and they will just have to say, take and run. Take what you have got and step out so that it doesn't go into bigger challenge. So this is the point. We have to value our own and then test everybody's position against how much public interest is served, how much are Nigerians benefiting, and how much will the industries and businesses benefit. That's the critical test.
Indeed. Prof, do you think that we're going to get to a point whereby all these issues that we are having now with regards to the Dangote refinery, the NNPC, the NMDPRA, and other regulatory agencies, are we going to get to a point now where it will be resolved? For example, now, Dangote refinery, the capacity is almost 700,000 barrels per day, which is projected to hit 1.4 million barrels per day by 2030. But are we going to get to a point? But we know what is getting from the local supply. I mean, in terms of the crude supply now, is just a little above 70,000 barrels per day, which is what is getting from NNPC. Do you think we're going to get to a point where the larger percentage of our crude will be dedicated to Dangote refinery?
Yeah, the thing is that it is law. It is PIA law. The law says you have to prioritize, and that's why I'm a local refining capacity, and that's why I'm suggesting to government put a 5% upstream non-DCO compliance tax. So if you do not supply that crude to the local refinery, then pay tax of 5% on it. So government gets more money. Government doesn't need to be borrowing money. Government has money already. When you start getting 5% tax on 600,000 barrels that are sent away instead of giving it to local refiners, then you see how much money the government will get. They don't need to borrow any more money. You get more dollars. Just in the same way as you are doing 15% ad valorem tax, go and look at how much that 15% on 7.5 billion later, how much is it? It's a lot of money. 100 naira times 7.5 billion is look at that. It's almost 700 billion. The Nigerian government will get that. So that's the point. But we must have the quality checked. That quality must meet the standards, not the standard being 50 parts per million sulfur, and you're bringing it 200 parts per million sulfur. In some cases, it's even up to 1,000 parts per million sulfur. That's not going to stand, because you are destroying people's cars, you are creating more pollution in their environment, and you are destroying people's engines into generators. So I mean, you are not comparing like to like. You are looking at what I call predatory pricing, dumping of substandard products. You are doing everything that is criminal is what is being done in the alternative. And then this economy cannot grow within this. This is not how we are going to grow our economy.
Indeed. Prof, now let's look at the target now of Dangote refinery by 2030. They are projecting a market capitalization of $200 billion US. Let's look at the growth drivers. Which drivers, key drivers do you see propelling them to this level they are projected?
Well, they are putting in $10 billion in refining, the additional refining, not going to be up to 20 because the infrastructure is already there. So, and they're putting about 3 billion to fertilizer. And fertilizer and polypropylene alone give them $6.4 billion. Projected to give them $6.4 billion, let alone when you bring in the jet fuel, which is really, really very, very expensive. And they're taking international position on that. So, and there are many more products that they are bringing in, more pipeline of products that are suited for international market. It's not trying to dominate Nigerian market. It couldn't. my advice is this. Let the unions and the marketers go and take these NNPC refineries free of charge and go and work it up. Use your tank farms to store the product and export. If you have some, you can also sell in the country so that you are comparing like to like. This is what they call backward integration. And that's what Obasanjo did on cement. Show me your cement factory and I allow you to import clinkers. Let them go and take those ones. I know that they pay $750 million for those and they return their money. Look, give it free. Let the unions work with the oil marketers. Go and take it over. If you supply the crude yourself to your own factory, and then fine, export and sell instead. Nobody says you shouldn't sell. This is the way to go. You cannot keep these NNPC refineries dead, paying salaries for workers that are not working, spending 10 billion over 10 years, spending 3 billion over 2 years. Stop those waste. Go and do it. You that have so much money, or go and build new modular refineries. You have enough money. In 3 months, you can deliver modular refinery 20,000 barrels a day at $100 million. And it's nothing to any of the marketers. It's more money to any of the marketers. That is the way to go. You cannot force this country to swallow poison called adulterated fuel and then destroy investments in the country in productive capacity and keep us perpetually dependent on imported raw material. That is not an option. And I tell you this, I'm also pressing for government to pass the 30% mandatory value addition law so that even the exportation of crude from Nigerian, from inland Nigerian basin will stop. We could only tolerate the offshore. So in that way, it is even not an option to export any crude at all. You shouldn't. You can export the offshore, but not the crude on the ground, the onshore.
On the inland.
I mean, it's not rocket science.
All right.
And then both houses of assemblies have passed this. It's sitting on the government president for assent. The two laws, the two bodies have passed it. 30% minimum value addition. That is when we begin journey on industrialization of our country. And everybody in Africa is waiting and looking at Nigeria, what we do. So it is not just a Nigerian issue. It is an African economic resurgence issue, African economic independence issue. You have to fight for your independence. The way you fight for it in 1960, you have to fight for it, for economic independence. In 2005, 2006, you have to fight for it.
All right. Of course, in fighting for economic independence, maybe some conflicting interest too is something that we should also be fighting against as well. But Prof, Dangote refinery has come to stay, but there are people who are saying that there should be more like an option in the event that something, there could be a technical problem tomorrow and then Dangote may not function for 1 or 2 days. Don't you think we need to have more like an option to fall back on if that happens?
Can you go and check the billions of reserves, the fuel already sitting in his tanks? He has enough fuel in the tank to take us over Christmas. So where is this? What is it? Where is it coming from? He's not having any maintenance that is going to stop his production. Now, it's just frivolous. And they tell me, what is your justification for issuing license for 7.5 billion liters of fuel? Where is your justification for those? There's no justification. It is just the primacy of private interest over public interest. That is all that it is. And people just refuse to be rational about this. It's not fair. Our country has to move forward. We are looking at our children. Do you want things to happen properly when there's revolution? When all these children are on the streets? When do you want, how many bloodsheds do you want before we can do what is right for our country? It's not fair. Look at the subsidy. Only 50% of the subsidy has been available to the president because NNPC burnt the other 50% on their inefficient operation. And yet people expect more from government, but the man didn't have the money. He has taken the most important, courageous political steps going forward. He has started implementing PIA, but there are forces inside, especially the regulator, that wants to negate everything that is said in that law. So what else do you want? I'm just saying that it is not fair.
Indeed. Prof, as we begin to wrap up the conversation now, let's look at the Dangote refinery IPO, talking about initial public offer, which is expected. A lot of investors and shareholders are waiting. The refinery is expected to list on NGS, talking about Nigeria Exchange Limited, and of course, LSE, London Stock Exchange as well. And he has also said, given an option, just like the like of Seplat, of paying dividends in US dollar. What do you make of that?
But you know, that's an earth-shattering promise. Where else will you get this? Invest in Naira and get dollar dividend. And I'm going to tell you that is going to be 400% oversubscribed. And the man himself is saying it. I had it yesterday. He said, look, yeah, I have said 10%, but I'm open. I'm open to anything that makes sure that every Nigerian who wants to invest in my company, invests in my company. So, I mean, you can't have it better than that. People want to invest because they've seen courage backed by investment. They've seen partnership and alignment with government and strategic alignment and policy alignment and delivery alignment. They've seen him, 25% of my income in world should go to education. And then, so anything and everything we have asked for is giving you more. So you will see how diaspora will vote with this thing. People are waiting for this for the IPO, and because it has ramifications across the whole of Africa. What he's trying to do is showing the example of how we need to salvage this country, and of course, with our Nigeria as leading the rest of Africa in this area.
Indeed. Quite impressive there, Prof. A lot has been said, but my final question to you will be in terms of the target of becoming $100 billion annual revenue enterprise by 2030. Of course, a lot of people are saying what is giving Dangote confidence is the IPO, like you rightly mentioned, is expected to be oversubscribed by over 400%, if not more, because a lot of people I spoke to with a stockbroker earlier who told me that the market is waiting and earnestly for that refinery to list. What do you make of people who believe that this subscription may even, the target that's set by Dangote may even, it may get more than that?
It will get far more than that. One is this expectation is backed by a massive growth of over 50% more from 700,000 to 1.4 million barrels a day. One is all going to be financed. There's also investment in refinery, $10 billion, fertilizer, $3 billion, sugar, cement, food, all of them, almost $120 billion, all going to be financed from his cash flow. All from the cash flow. So you can't say, oh, but all these things are wishful thinking that he might not raise the money. It's just from his cash flow. And it's from his cash flow. He's looking at $21.1 billion revenue to Nigerian government in dollars, forex revenue. From there, so it is there. It's not, people are not controlling. It's there. He's not looking for land to build this. He's already done the infrastructure. It's going into the existing infrastructure. All right. So and the marginal cost and the marginal revenue are contained, because while I was there, he asked the security man, how many security men do we employ in this refinery? He said 3,000. When he's doing the 1.4 million barrels, he doesn't need to employ another 3,000, maybe only extra 1,000. That's marginal cost. And the marginal revenue is phenomenal. So the thing is this, he is going to get that more than 100 billion in revenue. He's going to get far more than that. Number two, even getting that 100 billion in turnover puts him among the 100 biggest companies in the world. If he goes to 200 billion capitalization, I tell you, it might actually be 300 billion or more. That would make, remember, he owns at least 60% of his companies. That will bring his own company, his own value to over 120 to 150 billion. He will be number 7 in the world. So he's no longer number 58. He's going to be number 7. So you can't stop a moving train. That's the answer. If you can't beat them, join them. Fidel Castro says, if you don't take a revolution, the revolution will overtake you. This guy is squarely acting in public interest, for the interest of our country, for the interest of ECOWAS. Why did we make him the chairman of ECOWAS Business Council? Because everybody in the region shares his vision. We see him as the one The other French ones that are kicking up, that are kicking away because of economic interest, and are still seeing him as the model.
All right.
I'm telling you the truth.
Right, Prof,
and then let alone
we
Africa.
need to go now. I know how
So you are so blessed to have this opportunity, and we must embrace it.
I know how passionate you are about promoting local content. Prof, I must thank you. Time is always not our friend when we have this kind of conversation. I must thank you, Professor Kenife, Chief Economic Strategist at ECOWAS Commission. He was also an ambassador at London Enterprise. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate your contributions.
My pleasure.